Hello YouTube, and thanks for watching. This is one of what I hope to be many IT professional or power user videos about Windows 10 or Windows Server. I will start by talking about run commands. When I say run command, I'm talking about when you press the Windows key plus the R, the run box will pop up. You can also find it by clicking the start menu and just typing run. Okay, now let's start with our first command here. It's APPWIZ.CPL. It brings up the Programs and Features box. I remember this command by APPLicationWizard.cpl, which is something easy to remember it by. It's very useful for a few reasons. You can turn on Windows features from here, get Hyper-V installed, or other roles maybe that you need with a server or .NET 3.5, things that just don't come with the computer, but also to see what's installed. Because as you'll see here with Windows 10, if I start typing apps, it brings up apps and features, which is completely different than this box that we have here. It's the Windows 10 setting menu. And no offense to Windows 10 or the settings menu, but most people are used to this. It's easier to see, and there's no reason not to use it. The second run command is NCPA.CPL. This is actually very important for IT professionals for a variety of reasons. As you can see with this menu, we can go into the properties of adapters, we can disable adapters right here, if I can see, and also just see all the adapters that are on the computer. I'll show you what I use it for the most. If I'm trying to check DNS, maybe an Active Directory server is acting up, I'll hop into this and I'll use alternative DNS servers. Or let's say DHCP isn't working and we need to assign our computer a static IP to get on the network to test other things. This is where it's all done from. So it's very important that you know what this menu is, but also now a quick way to get to it. For the third command is control printers. And just being honest, I hate printers. But this menu can be very helpful, and a fast way to get to it in Windows 10 is control printers. That one's fairly easy to remember because you're controlling the printers. This also brings you to the devices and other things like Bluetooth would show up here as well. I really would use this for removing printers, adding printers, different things like that, or even just checking the printers. But it is a fast way to get here, and it's the way I use every time. This next run command is my most used command by far. It's CMD, which opens command prompt. This can be helpful for a variety of reasons, and if UAC is set up properly, as you can tell, or maybe not properly, but set to bypass for administrator prompts, it will always open as an admin, which is very helpful, especially when troubleshooting, going to people's directories, my downloads, or just running DISM, SFC scan. A variety of other things can be run from here, and it's by far the fastest way to get to command prompt. There are some other ways in Windows 10 which we can go over later to get to PowerShell, but you can get to that from here too, and other tools that you need to manage. Time for another very helpful run command. This one I use multiple times a day in my current job. Some people might not use it ever, but it is MSTSC. This brings up Microsoft's Remote Desktop Connection. It allows you to create icons, change settings, set up RD Gateway, or just save the icon, which is what I use it for the most. Obviously, if you're deploying it to a lot of computers, you might not want to go in here and click Save As on All, which I will go over other ways to do this. But this box is really good for just connecting to a machine, logging in, seeing what's going on quickly and efficiently. This next command, I'm unable to show you exactly what it would do, so you'll just have to trust me. It is dsa.msc. This would bring up Active Directory, where you can manage users and computers. But I'm just on my Windows 10 box without the Active Directory role installed. So nothing happens here. But it is one very quick way to open up Active Directory. I promise. This next command, I'll do a little explaining on why it's useful. So with Windows 10 on a domain joined workstation, it's very hard to get to the local users, if not impossible, I found sometimes. So this command, I don't have an easy way to remember it, but it is lusrmgr.msc. And this brings up local users of the computers. You can see users, you can see groups. This is all local to the computer. Nothing to do with Active Directory. So for example, if you're trying to create a new local admin on a computer, you could obviously do this through command prompt, but this is one graphical user way to see the users on the computers. This next run command is actually one that first got me started to realize the power of run commands. It's Devmgmt.msc. Now I remember this one is device management. And that brings up all your drivers. From here, you can uninstall drivers, update drivers, see what drivers are installed, or, not on my computer, but in some cases there might be one with a yellow exclamation mark, maybe a USB printer, or another device that is malfunctioning. This is the way that I always get to Device Manager now. On this run command, I'm not even sure how to get to this without typing in a run command. It's very useful when you're trying to check the hardware of the computer. It's msinfo32. This command I remember by Microsoft Info 32-bit, which could be wrong, but in my head it makes sense. As you can see here, you get a lot of information about the computer. You get RAM, the processor type, get the motherboard type, the system name. Lots of different things are in this menu. You can go down to hardware resources, components, so you can see all the devices that are installed, the display settings, the graphics card, inputs. I use this most when I'm trying to troubleshoot a hardware issue or maybe even upgrade a computer. It allows me to do things that I can't do remotely without, physically seeing what's in the computer. So this is one way that I always check on any computer that I'm trying to get to and upgrade something or maybe order a new hard drive for. This is the menu that I always use. And last, but certainly not least, Sysdm.cpl. I remember this command by System Device Management or Direct Manager, something that lets me know that I'm managing the system. This brings up system properties, which there's a few things you can do in here. Most of the time, I just change the computer name when I'm in here, or maybe even join the domain of when I'm on a computer. Also, you can set up RDP from here. I don't really use this tab too much. It can be used for, configuring different changes like setting up restore points. I really don't use that menu or even these menus, but as you can see, you can get to other tabs here. Mostly I think about it for this: workgroup, computer name, and domain joining. I use this command quite often when setting up new computers.